Thanks to the amazing folks over at Ameda City through the Predecessor Creators Guild, I've been given an opportunity to take a first look at Predecessor's upcoming patch, patch 1.4. This patch is absolutely massive and has some changes for every single hero in the game. It's also going to bring us our next Predecessor hero, Boris, who's going to be charging his way into Sanctuary. We got a lot to cover in this patch, so let's get to it.
Kwang is a really unique scrapping, fighter, bruiser, high damage, high risk, high reward style hero that's played primarily in the off lane in Predecessor, though some people will play him in the jungle. He's had a large list of, a suite of changes that have come to him in patch 1.4, and we're going to go over those in detail now. Kwang's passive is called Strike of the Heavens. This is a stacking ability that when he damages people with his basic attacks, the blade becomes energized with electricity for 4 seconds. This stacks up to 3 times. And while this blade is energized, Kwang's going to gain 60% attack speed for his basic attacks, in addition to some lightning damage to those that are around him. This is definitely going to benefit jungle Kwang, but there's also some cooldown reduction on monsters now. The next change is to his primary ability, Judgment of the Heavens. Kind of a large list of changes here, but overall I think that it's a benefit. The first thing to mention is that as the sword falls, it's going to pull heroes to the ground. So if you've got a well-timed, well-aimed blade, you can pull those pesky enemies out of the sky to give you more of an opportunity to start wailing on them with your heavenly blade. The radius is up 25. The tether distance is up 15%. The fall time on the sword is a little bit longer, giving people kind of a little bit more time to get out of the way. And the next big change is that the range on the ability is up 100. So you can take people down out of the sky and root people from a further distance. Really, all in all, this is a big buff to this ability. His next ability that's been changed is his secondary ability, Surge of the Heavens. This ability is now blink proxy compatible, giving him even more gap closing ability. The knock-up radius on this ability has increased by 25%. And the dash range has increased by 50. The overall base damage is down, but the scaling damage is up. So overall, this ability has seen quite the buff, giving him more reliable CC and more damage in the late game. The next adjustment is to his alternate ability, Light of the Heavens. This ability has got a little bit less damage than it used to in previous patches and a little bit less shielding than it had in previous patches. The way this ability works is that light strikes the heavenly blade, dealing damage to nearby enemy units. When Kwang is holding the blade, it deals damage and grants Kwang a max health % shield. If Kwang has the blade out somewhere in the world, it just does true damage to the enemy instead. The last change is an easy one. It's to his ultimate, Fury of the Heavens. They have simply made this ability blink proxy compatible so that Kwang can get closer to his enemies while casting so they can't escape his wrath. Let me know what you think about these changes and whether you plan on playing Kwang in patch 1.4.